Hello everyone, and once again welcome back to the JCE Connect. And in today's session again we are going to solve the problems over the flexural strength of pre-stressed concrete beam. Okay, so now without wasting time we'll start with this session. Okay, so I'll read out the statement of the problem. Okay, so it is given as a pre-tensioned PSC beam of I section with 160 mm by 70 mm flange and with thickness of web is 50 mm and overall depth of beam is 320 mm. The beam is pre-stressed with 4 high strength steel wires of 7 mm dia at an effective depth of 265 mm. FCK is equal to 50 Newton per mm square and FP is equal to 1600 Newton per mm square. Find ultimate flexural strength. Okay, you have to find the ultimate flexural strength. So after that, so according to the given statement of the problem, we have the sketch of I section. So it is given as the flange thickness is 160 mm by 70 mm and the web thickness is 50 mm. Okay, and the total depth of the section is 320 mm. Okay, then also it is given as the cable is the centroid of the cable is located at 265 mm from top of the section. Okay, then we'll after this we'll have the discussion, or we'll note down the given data first. Okay, so I'll just note down the given data. Okay, so the given data are, so it is first of all it is given as pre-tensioned beam. So we have to check whether first it is pre-tension. Okay, then FCK is given as 50 Newton per mm square and FP is given as 1600 Newton per mm square. So these are the basic given data here. So again it is given as the section is loaded with 4 high strength steel wires of 7 mm dia, means area of pre-stress is given as, so it is pi by 4 into 7 diameter into 4 cables. So we will get this as 154 mm square. Okay, so this is given as 154 mm square. Okay, then now it is a flange section. So again we have to assume whether the location of neutral axis, the depth of neutral axis is within the flange or outside the flange. Okay, so we'll assume, then assuming it is depend upon you. Okay, what you assume, the later on you have to check again whether our assumption is right or wrong. So assuming neutral axis is lies within the flange, we will assume that neutral axis lies within the flange, that is XU is less than or equal to DF. XU is less than or equal to DF, where the DF is 70 mm. Okay, so therefore depth of neutral axis, so we have to find out the depth of neutral axis. For that we should have from table number 11, the table number 11, the effective reinforcement ratio is given as AP by into FP divided by BF into D into FCK. So this here it is BF. Why? We are assuming that neutral axis lying beneath the flange. Okay, so from table 11, so it is 154 AP and FP is 1600 divided by BF is 160 into D is 265 into FCK is 50. So D you can see here, it is given as from top 265 mm. Okay, so from this we will get this ratio as 0.116. Okay, so now what you have to do, you have to go back to the table. So I'll just show you. You have to go back to the table here. Okay, I can make it like this. Okay, so here you can check it is tendons. Okay, here this ratio we have calculated, AP into FA upon BF into D into FCK, and we have to check for XU by D value. We have to check for XU by D value. Okay, then this we have got it as 0.116. Okay, we have got it as this. We have to interpolate between 0.15 and 0.2. Okay, we have to interpolate between 0.15 and 0.2. So that we have to interpolate between 0.326 and 0.217. Okay, because it is 0.116, so we have to interpolate between 0.1 and 0.15. So we have to 0.217 and 0.326 for pre-tensioning. If it is post-tensioning, we have to follow this. Okay, and this is pre-tensioning, so we have to interpolate between these two. Okay, so I'll note down the values here according to the table, then it will be very easy for the interpolation. Okay, so I'll just note down the values. Okay, so I'll note down the values here. Okay, so it is, we have to interpolate between 0.1 and 0.15. So for 0.1 the value is given as 0.217, and for 0.15 it is given as 0.326, and we have to find out for, I'll write it other color pen. So it is, we have to interpolate between 0.116. So we have to interpolate for 0.116, and for after interpolation this value will get it as 0.252. So we will get this value as 0.252. This value will get it as 0.252. Okay, so therefore we have what, XU by D is equal to 0.252. So therefore XU is equal to 0.252 times D. Okay, so XU is equal to 0.252 D 265. So we will get it as 66.78 mm, which is less than DF. So therefore assumption is correct. Okay, therefore assumption is correct. So further again we have to find out one more ratio, because our assumption is correct now. Okay, so here we have to find out also FPU by 0.87 FP. Okay, and again this I can show you here. Okay, आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो here. Okay, this for post the pre-tensioning. So it for 0.1 it is 1, and for 0.15 also it is 1. So it is 1 only. Okay, so no need to interpolate here. Okay, so this value we got it as 0.1. Okay, so therefore FPU is equal to 0.87. FP is 1600 into, we have got this is as 1. This is not, yes, this is 1, not 0.1. This is 1. 1. Okay, so we will get it this value as 1392 Newton per mm square. Okay, 1392 Newton per mm square. So you can find out the moment of resistance. Therefore the moment of resistance since neutral axis lies within the flange, mu r is equal to FPU into AP to D minus 0.42 XU. Okay, that is FPU is 1392 into 154, we have got 80, that is AP. So D is 265 minus 0.42, XU we have got it as 66.78, and we got the MUR as 50.8 kilonewton meter. So we got the MUR, so that is the moment of resistance of I section, we have got it as 50.8 Newton per mm square. So this is regarding the calculate the flexural strain, nothing but the moment of resistance of I section. Okay. So now we will go for the solution of next problem. So I will just read out the statement. An unsymmetrical I section bridge girder has following sectional details. Okay. Width and thickness of top flange is 1200 mm by 360 mm. Then the width of and the size of bottom flange is not given, and here it is not required also. Okay. Then the thickness of AB is 240 mm. Centroid of section at 540 mm from top. The girder is used over a span of 40 meter. The tendons are unbonded. This is very important. So this is unbonded section, unbonded type of section, unbonded with cross section 700 mm square, are parabolic with E is equal to, the eccentricity is given as 1220 mm, 1220. Okay. FCK is equal to 40 Newton per mm square. FP is 1200 Newton per mm square, and this is again after all losses. That's why it is called as FPE. It is called as FPY because it is after all losses of pre-stress, which is effective. Okay. And we have to estimate the ultimate flexural strength. Okay. So again, according to the given statement of the problem, we have the sketch over here. They are given the top flange of size 1200 mm by 360 mm. Width of the flange is 1200 and the depth of the flange is 360, and it is unsymmetrical, means this is again the lesser of this. So this, which is not given and not required here also for calculation. Then because the centroid of the section is given, so no need to have the size of bottom flange. Okay. And it is given as the centroid of the cross section, the centroid of the cross section from top it is 580 mm. Okay. And one more, the pre-stress, the tendons are located at a distance of, or at an eccentricity of 1220 mm from center. So आपको यहाँ से center मिल गया. Then from again centroid we have the centroid of the tendencies, or the E, nothing but eccentricity is 1220 mm. Okay. And one more important is, apart from that, here it is the given as the span of the beam as L is 40 mm. The one more important is what we have to check, it is unbonded tendon. This is very important. This is unbonded tendon. Okay. Then other given data are, apart from the sketch, other given data are, AP is given as, the area of pre-stress is given as 7000 mm square. Then FCK is equal to 45 Newton per mm square. Then FPE is given as 1200 Newton per mm square. Okay, this is given as 1200 Newton per mm square. Okay. And next, as per the sketch again, so therefore D is equal to, यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा है already, D is equal to what, 580 plus this. Okay, so D is equal to 580 mm plus 1220 mm. Okay, so total the effective depth is 1800 mm, so which is given as 1800 mm. Okay. Then again, it is a flanged section. So again we have to assume that whether it is within the web or outside the flange, within the web or within the flange. That is nothing but the neutral axis lies within the flange or outside the flange. So we'll go ahead. So assuming again neutral axis lies within the web. Neutral axis lies within the web means it is nothing but outside the flange, both are same, or XU is more than DF. XU is more than DF. Okay, so for that we should have, therefore AP is given as APF plus APW. So here, because it is lying outside the flange, so your AP, total AP should be APF plus APW, because it is lying within the web, so you have to consider AP web also. Okay, so AP should be equal to APF plus APW. Okay, so therefore APF is 0.45 FCK BF minus BW into DF upon FP. Okay, so I can calculate here 0.45 FCK is given as 45, BF is 1200, BW is 540, 240 into DF is 360 divided by FP is 1200. So we will get it as 5832 mm square. This value is 5832 mm square. Okay, so therefore APW is equal to 7000 minus 5832, that is 1168 mm square. 1168 mm square. Okay, so therefore because it is a unbonded tendon, so you have to refer table number 12. Table number 11 for bonded tendon and table number 12 is for bonded unbonded tendon. So from table 12 for unbonded tendon, table 12 for unbonded tendon. Okay, we have again the equation AP into FP divided by BDFCK. So this will be, again I will rewrite this. This will be AP into FPE, effective stress. So this is BW because we are assuming that lying within the web, and D into FCK. Okay, so I will substitute back here. So APW is 1168 into FP is 1200 divided by BW is 240 into 1800 into FCK is 45. We get it as 0.072. And even the L by D ratio is, L is 40 into 10⁻³ divided by D is 1800, that is 22.22. So these two ratios, and again you have to go back to the table. I will just show you how to this thing. Okay, so now if you refer the table here. Okay, so first of all you have to calculate the value for XU by D to check our assumption. Okay, so here one thing is what our L by D ratio is again within 20 and 30. Okay, so we have to interpolate two times here now. We have to interpolate between 20 and 30 first, then you have to interpolate between these two, because this ratio we have got it as 0.072, which is again in between these two. So you have to interpolate first of all between 20 and 30, then you have to interpolate between 0.05 and 0.1. So I will show you that how to interpolate. Okay, So I'll note down the values first. Okay. So we have got this ratio, that is for this ratio. Okay, for this ratio we'll note down the values. So for 0.05 and 0.10, and here we have the L by D ratio, that is 30 and 20. So for 30 we have got this value as 0.16 and this is for 0.3, this is again 0.16, this we have got as 0.32. okay, if you check and note down. Okay, see, these two are L by D ratio, these two are the effective reinforcement ratio, and we have to find out the values for, in between these two we have to find out the L by D ratio for 22.22. okay, and in between here we have to find out the value for 0.072. तो इसको कैसे इंटरप्रेट करना है, that is important now. okay, so first of all we have to interpolate between these two for 30 and 20. In between 30 and 20, for 22.22 we have to interpolate. So in between these two, 0.16 and 0.16, so this will represent 0.16 only because both are same. okay, and for 0.3 and 0.32 we have to interpolate, so we will get this value as 0.3156. इन दोनों में आपको इंटरप्रेट करना है, तो you will get this value for 22.2 again for this. So we got this. So now in between these two, for these two you have to interpolate between these two for 0.072. You have to do the interpolation 2 times. For these two you have to interpolate for 0.072, and after interpolating we got the value as this value for 0.072, that is XU by D value. After interpolation we got it as 0.228. so we got this value as 0.228. so therefore XU by D is equal to 0.228. so therefore XU is equal to, I'll write directly, so we got XU is equal to 0.228 into depth is 1800, that is 410.4 mm, which is more than DF, so we assume that XU is more than DF, so therefore hence assumption is correct. Okay, so then we'll go for the next calculation, that is how to calculate FPE. so again you have to refer the same table. okay, by referring same table you have to find out the next value. okay, so that is again for calculation of FPE, so I'll write here 0.05, that is effective reinforcement ratio, and this is 0.1, and here this is for 30 and for 20. So here this value we have got it as 1.21 and 1.32, here's 1.18 and 1.26. okay, and it is 22.22 0.072. okay, 20.22 and 0.072 you have to interpolate, and again I told you have to interpolate between these two and these two. so इन दोनों में interpolation करने के बाद we got it as the value as 1.295, and this value we got it as 1.24. okay, and again we have to interpolate between these two, इन दोनों में हमको interpolate करना है, this and this. so this value we got it as 1.27. okay, so therefore we got it as FPU by FPE is equal to 1.27. So therefore FPU is equal to 1.27 times FPE. Okay, so therefore 1.27 times FPE is given as 1200. So we will get FPU is equal to 1524 Newton per mm square. 1524 Newton per mm square. Okay, so then next, so therefore movement of resistance, mu is given as FPU into APW into D minus 0.42 XU plus FPE into APF into D minus DF by 2. Okay, here so I'll substitute 1524 FPU, we have got it just now, into APW as 1168 to D is 1800 minus 0.42 XV as 410 point into 4 plus FP is 1200 into 5832 into 1800 minus 360 by 2. Okay, so this ultimately we got answer as 14.23 into 10⁹ Newton mm, or okay, so that is 14.23 Newton mm or 14.23 into 10⁵ kilonewton meter. 14.23 into 10⁵ Newton kilonewton meter. Okay, so this is the final solution for the problem. Okay, so these type of problems you may get, okay, in the exam. So you have to concentrate. The important is, first of all, whether the section is pre-tension or post-tension, that is the first. After that, next is whether it is bonded or unbonded. These two you have to concentrate, then it will be very easy to solve. Okay, thank you.